So there it is, that special flame that burns within each and every one of us, that special fire that's within the heart of us all. This idea, this concept came to me from a quote, a fortune cookie quote, but it actually meant so much when I dug deep into thinking about what it really meant. And so that quote was, all the darkness in the world could not put out a single candle. And so with me, what that means to me is that we each have a special spark, a special flame, a special something. I believe it's our creativity. It's what makes us us, the way that we act, the way that we think, the way that we feel. And so when I created this piece, it's about creating that special spark that is so alive in kids and get lost so much in adults. When you're a kid, you're free. You have fun. You're creative. You don't get weighed down by the things in life. And so we have this special flame inside of us. It's your passion. It's the thing that you're just so get so excited about. And the problem is that over time, that flame starts to dwindle, starts to flicker. And even though outside forces, whether it's everything that's going on in the world today, or everything that you see on the news, or it's other people that you have in your life, there are people and things that can try to put it out, that can make it go a little bit smaller, or make it seem like it's not so bright. However, the only person that can truly put it out is yourself. And so when you look at this, I want you to think about that. Think about how nobody else can blow out your flame. I want you to think about that special spark, that passion that you have as a candle. And it's going to go through this dark, creepy mansion. No matter where you walk, let's say you're going through a dark hallway, everywhere you swing that candle, it lights up the room. It lights up that dark corner you pointed in. And it does not matter how much darkness there is in there. All of the darkness in the world cannot blow out that candle. However, when you shine your light into those dark corners, into those dark rooms, it can light up an entire room. And if you feed even more to that flame, it can grow bigger. It can grow stronger. So I want you guys to think about that as you're looking at this piece. And I want you to really think about how you envision yourself, the passions that you have, how you harness your own personal flame. And as we step into this next section, I want you to put that into the piece that you create. And I want you to think about that. And again, remember, this is all about creativity. So even though I am using clay, it is my own personal medium of choice, and I am teaching you how to use clay. I want you to first remember that you can use any type of material you like, whether you're comfortable with pencil, with markers, with colored pencils, with crayons, with sand, with sticks in the backyard. You can create with anything that you like, as long as you're actually trying. And the other thing to remember is that it is your own personal piece. So whether you want to go all in like me and do a portrait that resembles you as a kid, or if you want to follow along next with this little heart-shaped candle that I've created for you, or if you want to do an abstract piece that only makes sense to you and where your brush strokes just really let out all your emotions, I want you to do that. And I want you to have fun and enjoy the process and not worry or be upset with a final result. So I hope this story has helped you guys, and we're going to go into the next section to where I share with you guys exactly what I'm going to do and how I wanted to create this new series on clay therapy, because I want to not only still share my own personal art and using my artwork as an image to kind of tell a story, but I wanted to add on this next section to where if you haven't touched clay in your entire life, you can still get up and do this on your first try. And you can have fun with it. So whether you're a beginner, whether you're doing it with your family, or whether you've been doing this for 10 years, I want you to be able to jump in here, take something from this. Even if 90% of what I say doesn't stick, if there's just one part of this that connects with you, then I've made a difference. So let's go ahead and jump into this next section. Alright, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and get started. Here I'm starting out with just water-based clay. You guys can use any kind of clay that you have. This is only a personal preference. And, you can use this. Again, you can use any material that you like. Or you can also use an oil-based clay or Super Sculpty if you wanted to bake it and keep it. Or even Play-Doh if you want to have some fun. But all I'm doing is just starting out with a flat shape. Just getting the clay flat. And then what we do is draw a center line and create a heart shape. Just drawing it in, using that center line, just trying to make it even. And seeing what I can create. I decided to do a heart just because that goes along with the portrait. And just to resemble that concept of having a fire in your heart. A strong drive, a passion that just ignites. And now this right here is probably going to be the hardest part of this entire process because you want to try to... I was trying to make it as even as I could. But here you see me just, after I drew in the shape, just doing simple cuts to cut out that heart shape. And then after I do that, I'm going to start trying to put on a few shapes for that candle. You're cleaning up the edges, taking away that center line just so I have a good starting spot. And then just rolling up a worm of clay to create that candle. Here I've got the candle, the basic cylinder shape, and I'm just going to add on the flame now. With this, just kind of try to make like a little teardrop shape. I roll up the clay, kind of make a ball, and then kind of have my hands rubbing together at the bottom to kind of make a point. And then just kind of shape the way that you would like your flame to go. And so playing with the placement, this is where you can really take off and just create whatever it is that you feel your own will look like. And so here you have the starting spot. Now, whether you want to make that bigger or smaller, or whether you want to add, if you wanted to make it a match with a huge flame, or if you wanted to have any kind of other details, remember that this is your piece that you can create whatever it is that you like. And so I'm softening up the edges just to kind of round out the heart here. I was thinking not to have such a hard edge, maybe round them out so that it is actually like a three-dimensional heart. And then, because of the fact that I'm doing a candle, I wanted to add on a few little drips of candle wax. And so with that, I'm just going to do a few small round pieces of clay, but also a few kind of teardrop shapes. And starting out, I did a long worm of clay across the top here, and that's just to add a little bit of clay to the top to where the candle wax is starting to form, so that I could have a spot to where it starts to drip from. And that'll also signify that the entire candle's been burning for quite a while. and then add on a couple extra drips. And what you'll see is, because this is water-based clay, I put these down and kind of smooth them out a little bit, but I can also use water to kind of blend them in. And the water is going to help take down any of the hard edges. It's going to help connect it, but you can also use the brush to kind of shape it just a little bit more. And you'll see that in a few minutes. So here you see I got the basic shape down that I'm thinking about for the candle wax, and just blending in those edges to make them connect, and trying to shape them just a little bit more. And then a few little lines here, just kind of giving a little bit of texture, a little bit of direction to the flames. Trying not to do a whole lot with it, and I still want to keep that center part as kind of the brightest highlight, the brightest part of the flame. And just kind of doing the edge to kind of give a little bit of movement to it. So here you see I'm getting my brushes out, and we're going to just smooth that out. And after I smooth that out with water, it kind of helps to shape it, helps to blend down some of the edges, any of the rough areas, any of the tool marks. And then we're going to end up calling this one finished. So like I said, this is entirely your piece. And while you're creating this, I want you to first is to have fun. Make sure you always have fun with this. And second is to think about, what is it that gets you excited? What is it that helps you get up in the morning? What is it that you're trying to go after? Is it something that you've been going after? Or is it something that you just had in your head, that's been a dream of yours that's been put on the sidelines? And how can you start taking these little baby steps? What can you do? Or what do you need to do in order to help this flame, this fire, burn just a little bit brighter? Now, I'm not saying that your little match you have to throw gasoline on and light the entire place on fire. But what if you could take just one small step in the right direction? Just 1 millimeter. That's all it takes to change the directory. Your direction will change. You'll end up in a different place. Just one small step today, one small step tomorrow, and you'll be in a new place. So there you have it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are interested in more clay therapy, keep following along, but also be sure to check out the link I have below for my clay therapy full course. It gives you a little bit more insight and gives you a lot more starting places to get you guys rediscovering your creativity and overcoming your artist block. So thank you guys for watching. Please let me know if there's anything I can help you guys with, and I will see you next week.